Hey, happy Friday, Trojans. I just wanted to give you a quick message with a little bit of information for the week as we close it out. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Proud of everything you guys are doing. Open house, thanks for bailing me out after that whole fiasco. I wish it had been more well attended. Um, but you know what? It is what it is. And all we can do is offer great services for families, and we did. So feel good about that. Um, Heard some feedback from some families. I even saw one family, one of our parents, she was on Facebook kind of getting after other parents saying, you should have been there. It wasn't well attended. And it was kind of neat to see the responses she got. And some parents just said, I dropped the ball. I forgot. We'll try to do a better job next time. So kind of neat seeing our parents holding other parents accountable. And she did it in the right way. She was very classy about it. So thank you for that. Thank you for all you're doing. Today's the first day I got to really observe a class as an evaluator. It was just very inspiring to see, the way the kids were taking care of each other, the way they were interacting with their teacher. It wasn't perfect, meaning I know the teacher would have liked to have their cameras on, things like that, but the kids were doing a great job through the chat and being kind and apologizing for showing up late or whatever the case may be. And the instruction was excellent. And the kids were learning. You can tell they were engaged. And it was just, made me very proud to be a principal of Auburn High School. I want to speak just a little bit about getting kids to, open up a little bit more. And I know it's not fun to teach the icons or avatars, whatever you call them. I think it's going to be a slow go. I really do. I think you got to play the slow play on this and encourage kids to do that more. Or maybe even have a open your mic minute, or not mic, but camera minute at the end of a class, just to say hello to everybody. It's kind of like when you first started getting kids to talk to each other in class. If you were more of a direct instructor, at first you get them just kind of doing a turn and talk and maybe sharing a joke or talking about their favorite whatever hobby. And then you guys use that as a scaffold to get them to start talking more about content related things. So, use your teaching skills. It's in you. And the kids will show up. They will. They may not turn their cameras on for a full session right away, but as time goes by, something tells me by the time they are doing that, it'll be time to come back to brick and mortar, hopefully. So don't give up on them and don't give up on yourselves, and just think of ways to do it. And if you have any colleagues who are having some pretty good success with that, pick their brains. I mean, every one of us is a teacher, and it's really up to each one of us to decide if we want to be a learner. This past week or so, maybe about last week, I got to watch a webinar. I think I referred to it before. It was called Back to Better, Building Resilience Together. And the three people on the call was Julie Stapp. She's one of the executives with the Flippin Group, Flippin himself, and then Principal Jada Robinson from a high school down in South Carolina. But now we have a recorded version. I'd like to share that with you. It's 45 minutes. It's a long sit and listen to, but I think there's some really great things to pull out of it, especially if you're looking to have a little bit more gasoline put in your tank. I think it helps us kind of get recentered. What I loved about it most is there was some storytelling by Flip. He talks about one of the teachers he had in elementary school, which could resonate for many of us if we've had that kind person in our past that maybe inspired us to even go on to be teachers. The other thing that's important, I think, is I think it was Jada that talked about, 4 things, and maybe it was all of them talking about it, but they talked about grace and making sure we're giving our students grace. But more importantly, as educators, make sure we give ourselves grace first. Gratitude, making sure we're expressing gratitude for the things we do have. I made sure I did that at the open house. I gave gratitude to technology, because if we didn't have technology, I kind of referenced the Spanish flu from 100 years ago. I don't know how they would do an open house without technology. I'm sure they didn't. But just finding things like that, and what that does, that kind of repositions the way our brains are thinking through really tough times to really think about what's possible. The other thing they talked about was purpose. Of course, we all understand our purpose, but sometimes we need to reattach ourselves to it, because we got all this commotion going on around us, with technology breaking down, or us just working the steep learning curve and trying to get through it fast because we want to be really effective. And then the last thing was relationships. And when they spoke about that, I decided, our school's got that nailed, especially between the students who know their teachers already, And then as you guys start to build those, and I'm going to say distance learning, it's going to be a little bit slower of a relationship build. So don't give up on them. Be patient. Keep going. So those 4 things: grace, gratitude, purpose, relationships. Have a fantastic weekend. Try to reach to someone outside your own circle. Have a conversation with someone. Keep those brains healthy. Practice good self-care. We need you. So please do that. And then if you are interested in the Back to Better, Building Resilience Together, shoot me an email and I'll shoot you the link. You got to answer a couple questions. And I did that. I just pretended I was somebody else since I've already been in it. And I just made some names up and I was able to access it. It was no big deal. So that's the only thing you got to do. But it's 45 minutes and I think it's really worth a listen to, especially if you feel like you're dragging a little bit right now and could use a little bit more oxygen. So anyway, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. And thank you for all you guys are doing. Appreciate you.